Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And we're actually starting a brand new series today. This is episode 1 of Baking Him Gluten-Free Happy. Both my son and my boyfriend are gluten intolerant, and my son has been living with it his whole life, so he's pretty used to the gluten-free life, but my boyfriend unfortunately kind of got this when he started dating me. He started experiencing a lot of the same things that my son experiences from time to time when he eats gluten by accident, so he decided to switch up his diet, and he felt so much better. But he's lived that good gluten life for many, many years, so he is adjusting, and this is why I wanted to start this series, to show him and those of you that might have some dietary restrictions that you can still eat really, really delicious gluten-free treats. And I was originally really hesitant to start a gluten-free series just because there's so many other better gluten-free bakers out there that know exactly what they're doing. But one gap that I did find is that when things tend to be gluten-free, the rest of the recipe tends to be incredibly health conscious, and the ingredients tend to be a lot more expensive and harder to find and wouldn't be something you normally have on hand. And in our household, where there's just a few people that have a gluten intolerance or are celiac, we don't want to go breaking the bank and having to purchase all of these items just for a couple people. So this series will really be focusing on just making those slight changes so the food is accessible for everyone. If you've been a viewer of my channel for a while, then you know I don't like to reinvent the wheel. Instead, I usually amalgamate a bunch of recipes together and put a little spin on it and make it my own. So I will link the original recipes down in the comments below. To start off, you're going to want to make your lemon curd first, and I really don't alter the recipe too much other than the fact that I use a few extra lemons and a little bit more lemon zest. I really like my lemon curd extra tart. Also, be sure to make this in a glass bowl as opposed to a metal bowl. I have made it in a metal bowl before, so if that's all you have, it can work, but you are going to get that slight little bit of a metal aftertaste. You really want to get the most out of your lemons, so I suggest that you use some sort of juicer like this, even if it's just a hand one. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, making this amount of lemon curd this way over a double boiling system for some reason takes a really, really long time. This took me about 30 minutes for this all to come together, and I did double the recipe, but that's because I'm using the lemon curd for something else as well. You'll know that the lemon curd is ready to take off the stove when it kind of has like a hollandaise consistency. Think a little bit of a looser honey. And then go ahead and add in your room temperature butter. It does need to be room temperature so that it melts properly, but if your mixture is really hot coming off the double boiling system, it probably will melt even if it's not quite room temperature yet. We picked these blueberries the other day and we got an amazing deal on them. There's lots of farms nearby that sell really good blueberries. This was only $11 Canadian for 6 pounds of blueberries. As you can see, I'm using all-purpose gluten-free flour. Either Bob's Red Mill is good or also the Robin Hood flour is good too. So you'll notice I'm actually tossing the flour around those blueberries, and it's just so that when we mix in everything else, they're not going to sink to the bottom of the cupcake. I don't like to do a lot of dishes, so I did make this cupcake an all-in recipe. You can basically just mix everything together all at once. You don't need to separate the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. I have made this cupcake recipe many times, and honestly, I don't really notice that much of a difference in the crumb or the bake, so now I just do it all in. And yes, I know I just called it a cupcake recipe, and don't worry, we will get to the part where it makes it more like a muffin. And honestly, I really just think it's the difference in density between a cupcake and a muffin, but let me know down in the comments below what makes a cupcake and a muffin a muffin. Oh yeah, and the addition of frosting also makes a cupcake a cupcake. Ordinarily, when I'm making my cupcakes, I do like to use either a hand mixer or I'll use a whisk, but this time I'm actually using a spatula, and this is just to really combine all of the ingredients, and I don't want to bruise the blueberries too much and cause them to burst. I'm really making sure to scrape down the sides and make sure everything is fully incorporated, but I do not want to overmix or this will make a tough batter. Moving along to the muffin portion of this cuffin, we're going to be making a streusel, which is really just all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, as well as some brown sugar and some melted salted butter. And honestly, I just swapped the all-purpose flour with gluten-free all-purpose flour and it completely works. Be sure to use a fork to combine everything. Any other type of tool doesn't work as well. You could use your hands too. You just don't want to over combine things, and you want to keep things nice and crumbly because this crumble is going to give you that texture that you want. Basically, you just want to combine until you don't see any more flour, effectively coating all of that flour with the butter. Place the unbaked streusel directly onto your raw batter, and you can put this on lots of different desserts, and then place it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 17 to 20 minutes. Mine took more on the 20 minutes side to get fully cooked through and through. By the time I was finished making the cuffins, the lemon curd had set in the fridge and was ready to be piped inside. I should also note that I created those holes by just using my gloved finger to poke the hole, but you can really use whatever tool you would like to. Moving along to the meringue portion of the recipe, I'm using 110 grams of egg whites, approximately 5 large egg whites in a stand mixer, whipping that, and then on the stove I had 300 grams of granulated sugar along with 75 grams of water, letting that sugar and water come to a boil on the stove until it reaches 244 degrees Fahrenheit. And not to worry if you don't have a candy thermometer, this is not for macarons, it's just a topping, so all you have to do is wait until you see some bubbles coming up from that sugar and water and slowly pour it into the whipping egg whites and you will be just fine. I whipped mine for approximately 3 minutes so I get these nice stiff peaks. The Italian meringue method is a lot more stable, but if you don't have the patience or you just feel like it's too complicated, go ahead and use the French method where you literally just whip the egg whites and slowly pour in that granulated sugar, and it will make those stiff peaks as well. I've piped thousands of cupcakes in my day, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really don't love the way that I piped these ones. I should have started from the center and then piped all the way around like I normally do, so you kind of get rid of that weird ledge that's happening on the side, but whatever. I ended up piping a bunch more that I liked a lot better. Plus, this angle is kind of weird. I feel like because you guys are looking at it from the side angle, it just doesn't look as beautiful. And as much as we try to make cupcakes symmetrical, there is always still a front to a cupcake. But do not fear, because if anything doesn't look that pretty, just toast it up with a kitchen torch and everything will look toasty and delicious. And if you like to bake and still haven't invested in a kitchen torch, I gotta say, why not? It honestly is one of my favorite purchases that I've ever made. And in fact, I have 2. And to be honest, I can't remember why I have 2, but I'm glad that I have 2 because just in case I forget one at a friend's house after I bring it to fire up the creme brulee that I've also brought, then I always have a spare at home. And not only does it toast up different things like meringue and obviously the top part of a creme brulee, I love using it as extra heat when I'm trying to heat up frostings just on the outside of my KitchenAid stand mixer. As someone who can eat all the gluten in the world that she wants, I honestly would not be able to tell that these are gluten-free. So what did my boyfriend actually think of these? He rated them a solid 8.5 out of 10. If you end up making these, please send them to my Instagram at SDBakeShop and I will repost your photo, and also let me know, what do you rate them out of 10? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie Fam. Right now, I'm uploading every single day, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I upload next. And let me know down in the comments below, is there any other gluten-free treat that you would really like to see me make? Bye!